Have you ever wondered why some people become millionaires from cryptocurrency while others lose everything? And did you know that just in the past few days, the cryptocurrency community was shocked once again when Pi Network was officially listed on the international exchange OKX? This is an important event. But what surprised many people the most were the mysteries behind this project, aspects that very few people know. Imagine you spent years mining Pi Network on your phone, patiently waiting for the day it could bring real value. And then that moment came. Pi was available on the exchange. But instead of absolute excitement, many people fell into a state of confusion. Questions arose about the actual price of Pi, the future trajectory of the coin, and whether everything believed for so long was true or just a beautiful dream. More than 100 million people worldwide have joined Pi Network. They believe in a new vision for cryptocurrency where anyone can own digital assets without investing thousands of dollars in mining machines like those needed for Bitcoin. But when Pi officially entered the larger market, important questions began to emerge. Is this really a decentralized cryptocurrency? Who is truly behind this project? And why could Pi lose value so soon after being listed? If you are also asking these questions, then you are not alone. The truth is that the cryptocurrency market is always unpredictable, and those who do not keep up with information can easily make wrong decisions. We are witnessing an important transition phase for Pi Network, from a promising project to a tradable asset. But is this a solid step forward, or just the beginning of a new wave of controversy? In today's video, we will explore together 10 little-known mysteries about Pi Network, aspects that could completely change the way you perceive this project. We will peel back each layer of information, from details about the founding team and operational model to factors that could determine the true value of Pi in the future. This is not only an informative video but also an opportunity for you to better understand the market, make informed decisions, and avoid missing opportunities. But before going into each mystery, I want you to do one small but extremely important thing. Leave a comment saying, "I want to know the truth about Pi Network," right below this video. Why? Because this is not just a comment, but also a commitment to yourself that you are serious about learning and taking control of your financial future. When I see your comment, I will like it to motivate you on this journey. And if you really want to seize the opportunity from Pi Network, as well as avoid potential risks, don't forget to like this video to help it reach more people. Subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss important information about finance and cryptocurrencies. And, most importantly, share this video with your friends and relatives, because sometimes just a little information can completely change someone's life. Are you ready? Let's explore the secrets with me. Hidden truths about Pi Network. Right now, we have witnessed Pi Network being officially listed on the OKX exchange. But does that really mean Pi has entered a strong development phase? Or is this just a symbolic step? To understand better, we need to look back at the true nature of Pi Network and what is going on behind the scenes. Let's start with an important question. Is Pi Network really a decentralized cryptocurrency project? From the beginning, Pi Network promised to create a blockchain system where anyone could participate without investing in expensive hardware. However, Pi's operational model has quite a few differences compared to traditional blockchains like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum operate on proof-of-work (POW), or proof-of-stake (POS) mechanisms, meaning transactions are verified by a decentralized network of thousands of computers worldwide. But Pi Network uses a completely different mechanism. It allows users to mine Pi simply by logging into the application daily and pressing a button. This means that no real transaction verification process is happening. At least not until Pi enters the official phase of operating on a public blockchain. So, what is actually happening? Some experts say that, until now, Pi Network has still been operating on a centralized database controlled by the development team. That means even if you have thousands of Pi in your account, if the system hasn't allowed transactions, you still cannot do anything with that currency. And this is one of the biggest mysteries surrounding Pi. Will it truly become a decentralized cryptocurrency? If you are wondering whether Pi being listed on OKX is proof that Pi is really valuable, remember that listing on an exchange doesn't guarantee the coin has achieved widespread adoption or has a solid foundation. Many cryptocurrencies have been listed but then quickly disappeared because there was no real economy to support them. So, what makes Pi different? One of the most important factors determining the true value of a cryptocurrency is its usability. We have seen Bitcoin become a store of value. Ethereum is used to run smart contracts. But what about Pi network? What will make it truly valuable in the future? The Pi network development team has emphasized that their goal is not just to create a cryptocurrency but to build an ecosystem where Pi can be used to trade goods and services. This means that Pi is not just a digital asset but could also become a real means of payment. But the question is whether this will actually happen. One of the most important factors to evaluate is the number of businesses willing to accept Pi as a payment method. Currently, there are some e-commerce platforms testing the acceptance of Pi, but this number is still very limited. If Pi cannot be widely used in the real economy, then no matter how much Pi you own, its true value remains a big question mark. In addition, another equally important factor is the conversion mechanism between Pi and fiat currencies. Although Pi has been listed on OKX, currently, only a very small number of users can actually trade Pi. The majority of others are still limited by the KYC, Know Your Customer, locking system, that is. Only those who have completed the identity verification process can transfer Pi out. This creates a large imbalance between supply and demand, directly affecting the value of this coin. So, with all that, will Pi really become a valuable cryptocurrency in the future? The answer is not simple. Pi has great potential, but it also faces significant challenges. If the development team can build a strong ecosystem and fully unlock it for users, Pi could become a real phenomenon. But if this process takes too long or encounters legal issues, the future of Pi remains very uncertain. One of the most important questions many people are interested in is, who is really behind Pi network? Is this a transparent project? Or are there still many unknowns that haven't been revealed? The founding team of Pi network includes 3 PhDs from Stanford University, Dr. Nicholas Kokkalis, Dr. Chungdiao Fan, and Dr. Vincent McPhillip. Nicholas Kokkalis is the project leader, with expertise in blockchain and computer science. The project was initiated by individuals with solid academic backgrounds, which created initial trust within the community. However, it's worth noting that Vincent McPhillip, one of the 3 co-founders, reportedly left the project in 2021. This raises many questions about the internal dynamics of the development team. Another point of contention is the lack of transparency regarding how Pi network operates. The mining system for Pi operates on a daily check-in model rather than a true mining mechanism like Bitcoin or Ethereum. This makes many people question how Pi is actually created. Is this system really fair? Moreover, so far, the Pi blockchain has not been made fully open source for the community to verify. This is in contrast to large blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, where anyone can check the source code to ensure the system operates transparently and without outside interference. If Pi is really a decentralized project, as claimed, then why is this process taking so long? There is also another issue many people worry about: how the personal data of millions of registered and KYC verified users will be handled. When you join the Pi network, you have to provide personal information such as your phone number, identity documents, and sometimes even biometric information. This poses a significant risk if this data is misused or falls into the hands of untrustworthy organizations. Overall, although Pi network has promising elements, many questions remain unanswered regarding the project's transparency and actual operation. Whether Pi will become a cryptocurrency revolution or just a beautiful dream that never becomes reality is an important question many are still seeking an answer to. Does Pi network really create a decentralized economy? Or is it just a closed ecosystem controlled by the development team? To evaluate this, we need to examine an important factor: the transaction mechanism and the circulation of Pi in reality. Today, Pi network has reportedly developed several trading platforms where users can use Pi to exchange goods and services. Some small shops in countries such as China, Vietnam, and South Korea have reportedly started accepting Pi as a test payment method. However, a significant problem is the lack of an official mechanism ensuring Pi can circulate widely like other cryptocurrencies. The second problem concerns the control of Pi's liquidity. Although Pi has been listed on the OKX exchange, in reality, buying and selling Pi still face many limitations. Currently, most users still cannot transfer Pi out of their wallets because the KYC process remains slow. This raises the question of whether the Pi network team maintains too much control over the flow of currency to create artificial scarcity. Also, it's worth noting that the current Pi distribution mechanism allows users to earn Pi by pressing a button daily. But the amount of Pi received decreases over time. This is similar to Bitcoin's deflationary model, but with an important difference. There is no clear evidence that the distribution of Pi is completely transparent. With Bitcoin, anyone can check the transaction data on the blockchain, but with Pi, this hasn't really been opened up yet. This leads to a significant question. Who controls the majority of the existing Pi? If the system isn't transparent, it's likely that a small group holds the majority of Pi. When Pi is actually widely traded, they could influence its value, much like how whales manipulate the traditional cryptocurrency market. So, although the Pi network has made remarkable progress, there is still much to do to prove that it is truly a decentralized economy. The most important factors are transparency and the real-world usability of the Pi coin. Another important factor determining the success of the Pi network involves legal considerations. Will Pi be truly accepted by governments and regulators? Or will it face major obstacles, like many other cryptocurrencies? In fact, the cryptocurrency industry constantly faces legal challenges from countries around the world. Some governments have accepted cryptocurrencies as legal assets, but many countries remain very cautious, sometimes even issuing bans. So, where does the Pi network stand in this context? One point to note is that the Pi network did not organize an initial coin offering, ICO, or token sale from the beginning. This helped them avoid many legal risks associated with fundraising. However, as Pi begins to have real value and is traded on major exchanges like OKX, regulators will undoubtedly pay more attention. If Pi lacks a clear strategy for complying with legal regulations, it will most likely encounter major problems in the future. In addition, some people are concerned about the collection of personal data during the KYC verification process. Privacy protection agencies may question how Pi network stores and processes the data of millions of users globally. If there is any breach related to information security, Pi might be banned from operating in many countries. Another issue is the tax policy regarding cryptocurrencies. When Pi actually becomes a payment method, will users have to pay taxes on transactions? Can Pi network cooperate with governments to ensure the legality of this currency? These are questions to which the Pi community still lacks clear answers. Although Pi network has strong growth potential, legal barriers remain an important factor that the development team needs to address. Without a clear strategy for complying with the regulations of each country, Pi may encounter great difficulties when attempting to expand its operations globally. So, what will the future of Pi network ultimately be? Is this a revolution in the world of cryptocurrencies? Or just a pipe dream, the coin that millions are pursuing? First, we need to look back at what Pi has achieved since starting as an unknown project. Pi network has attracted tens of millions of users globally. This proves there is huge demand for a cryptocurrency that can be mined easily and is accessible to the masses. This is an advantage not every project possesses. However, the real success of Pi lies not in the number of users, but in whether Pi can become a truly valuable coin. A coin is only valuable when it can be widely used and accepted by both businesses and consumers. Currently, Pi network is building its ecosystem, but there is still a long way to go to achieve this goal. Another important factor is how the development team will handle the remaining challenges. Unlocking KYC for all users, ensuring blockchain transparency, and creating a real market for Pi are necessary steps to take Pi to the next level. If these issues aren't clearly resolved, then even with millions of participants, Pi could remain just a closed system with no real value. In addition, the user community plays a crucial role in the development of Pi. If Pi owners simply consider it an asset for speculation without actually using it, then the value of Pi will not be sustainable. A cryptocurrency can only thrive when it is circulated and supported by an entire participating ecosystem. In the end, the biggest question remains: do you believe in the future of Pi? No one can predict for sure what will happen. But one thing is certain: only those who dare to act and are ready to adapt to change can seize the opportunity. If you have followed this far, please leave a comment below. Leave a comment like, "I have watched the whole video and I will act today," to show your commitment to yourself. I will thank each commenter to motivate you. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss important content about finance and cryptocurrency. Share this video with your friends and family, because sometimes a little information can change someone's life. I wish you success in finding the right path to build a stable and prosperous financial future. See you in the next video.